Hello everyone, my name is Harsh Jani. I'm working as a Scrum Master in the company named as Storage IO. So here we are going to discuss about Agile and Scrum. We will discuss and we will give a brief introduction about Scrum and Agile. So what we are going to cover are history, Agile Manifesto, Agile Principle, what is Agile, difference between Agile and Waterfall, Scrum, and grooming meeting and product backlog refinement meeting. So here we have history of Agile. Like in 2000, the group of 17 software developers met in Oregon, which is situated in US, to discuss how they could speed up the development time in order to bring new software to market faster. So they recognized two opportunities that achieving this goal would make possible. So first is shortening the delay of benefits to user in order to resolve the product market fit and development graveyard problems. And the second one is getting feedback from users quickly, confirm that usefulness of new software and continue to improve on it accordingly. But unfortunately, while this meeting did not result into agile, and it was a critical milestone in a history of agile. At speed to market, rapid feedback, and continuous improvement are hallmarkers of the agile methodology. Then what happened next? Less than a year after that Oregon meeting, the history of Agile came into focus. When the same group of 17 developers met again, and this time, during this meeting, they hope to further expand on their progress and land on more concrete solution to the major development problem of the time. So within 3 days, they have created a manifesto. So I hope you all guys are aware about the manifesto. Manifesto is something that motto or objectives which will covered by this agile or whatever the process we are going to introduce. So they have created four core values of the manifesto. The first is individual and interactions over the process and tools, working software over the comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, and the fourth one is responding to change over a following plan. So these are the key values of the manifesto they have created for the agile. Also, they have created principles for the same. So there are actually 12 principles for the agile that you can also go through on the Google. There are basically 12 principles for the agile. So in short, if we will cover the satisfying the customer through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. That is the main motto of the agile principle. And with the four core values, they have invented the agile. Now, what is agile software development? So agile is an iterative approach to project management and software development that helps team deliver value to their customer faster and with fewer headaches. In simple terms, instead of batting everything on a big bang launch, an agile team delivers work in small but consumable increments. Requirements, plans, and results are evaluated continuously so team have a natural mechanism for responding to change. In simple terms, if we need to create a small application, then we can simply plan the requirement. I mean, what we need to cover in this coding, in the testing, and everything. We will create a plan. We will work on coding. We will test the same, and we will deliver to the client. That's simple. But what if we do have a big software application or big web application like Amazon, Flipkart, e-commerce sites, or social sites like Facebook? So what if we need to cover this much of huge projects? In that, we need to work on many modules. Like if we talk about Facebook, we have timeline, we have settings, we have profile, we have uh, security settings, general settings, account settings, and many more backend things we need to make in our mind to create this kind of website. So in that, if we will plan everything and simply we will start coding on that without asking feedback from the client, it can happen that while giving to the client, they may can uh, have disputes with us that we have given the requirements like this, but you have created like that. So this kind of differences maybe occur. So to resolve that kind of problem, Agile has introduced. So Agile works in iteration. I mean, if we want to create a big website like Facebook or e-commerce site like Amazon, we will start with small development. We will first create a home page, then we will deliver to the client. If they are satisfied with us, then we will get another requirement from them that how we can develop the authentication pages like login and registration pages and so on. So by this iteration by iteration, we will give the increment of product to the client. So agile is not only an iterative approach, but it is also an incremental approach. Okay, so now what are the frameworks we are following in agile? So there are many frameworks, but these five you are seeing on the screen are widely used in the industry. So first is Scrum, second is Kanban, third is XP, which is extreme programming. The fourth is FDD, which is feature driven development, and the last is AUP, which is Agile Unified Process. But currently, in all organization, or we can say in IT industry, the Scrum is the majorly used or widely used framework. We can say that. So we will talk about Scrum. Before going to the Scrum, let me give a simple idea about Agile and the traditional uh, approach, which was Waterfall. So you can say here we have requirements, design, implementation, verification, and maintenance. So as I said, if we will create a big application, we will do design, we will do implementation, and in verification. If we will find a bug, and if it is a very big bug that can impact to other modules as well, then it can give a lot of stress and complexity in coding as well. And we need to again go to the first step. We need to go through the design again. We need to go through the implementation again, and again after we need to go to verification part. And also, it is also headache for verification team as well that he or she need to verify the whole application. But now, what is an agile? As we talked about iteration and small increment, we work in iteration. I mean, iteration could be a 1 week or 2 week or 3 or 4 week. So we will work in iteration. In this time duration, we will plan first that what we are going to accomplish in this iteration. After that, we are going to design, which is also we can consider here coding as well in this design part. After that, we are going to test that. If everything is okay, we will deploy the changes on the live environment. And also after that, we will ask feedback from the client or stakeholder that whatever you have given to us to create, is it matching with your requirement? Also, we are asking about the feedback for the further requirements. I mean, what we can do further in this application. So such kind of feedback we are going to ask. And after the feedback, we will again do the planning based on the feedback. And this cycle goes on. So this is how agile and this is how Waterfall works. Now, moving to the Scrum. What is Scrum? So here in definition, in simple terms, Scrum is a lightweight framework that helps people, team, and organizations generate value through adaptive solutions for complex problems. Scrum is a framework that helps teams work together. Often, though, as an Agile project manifesto framework, Scrum describes a set of meetings, tools, and roles that work in concert to help teams structure and manage their work. Here you can see a sprint life cycle I have given in the diagram. To understand this, let us move ahead to know about the Scrum more. After that, we will after understand what is the Scrum processes. Before that, let me give you a small idea. A Scrum is something which is stands on empiricism. Empiricism is we can call that empiricism is the idea from the past result and the experience we do have. So here, Scrum works on empiricism. Moving ahead, Scrum has some roles, some events, and artifacts. So talking about roles, we do have three roles in Scrum. First is development team. Here, development team doesn't mean the team of coders. Here, development team describes the coders and the testers both. Development team has no other sub teams or designations like senior or junior. So it is the advantage of Scrum role of in development team that all are equal in development team because all people are helping to develop the product or application. So all the testers and coders are considered as development team. Here, one more thing I need to add that in Scrum, we should have at least minimum three team members and maximum in team for the development team. After that, product owner. So, what is product owner? Who is product owner? Product owner is the person who creates the backlog of the user stories and requirement. Product owner is the only person who gets the requirement from the clients and also create own requirements to make the particular product or application better and smoother for the user. The product owner gets the requirement, arranges the requirement based on the priority, and uh, that list of requirements can be considered as a product backlog, which is created by the product owner. And the third one is Scrum Master. So Scrum Master is the person who facilitates all the events and all the processes of the Scrum. Scrum Master is the only person who manages the processes as well as his work is or her work is to remove the impediments and negativity from the team, Scrum team. Also, Scrum Master should be a good coach or a good teacher so that he or she can give idea about the Scrum and Agile to the team, to the organization in simple way. Now, moving to the Scrum events, we have 5 events in this Scrum: sprint planning, sprint, daily Scrum, review meet, retrospective meet. We will discuss further about the events. Now, moving to the Scrum artifacts. Artifacts is nothing but the result in another meaning. So, what we are achieving from this Scrum? So, first is product backlog, which is created by the product owner. The second one is sprint backlog. So, what is sprint backlog? And what is sprint? So sprint is nothing but the iteration we can consider. As I said, iteration can be 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, or 4 week. So that iteration will be called as sprint. So in that sprint, whatever the backlog product owner has created, based on the priority, some requirements or some user story should be taken into the iteration to work on, which is considered as sprint backlog because it is created for sprint. So that is sprint backlog. And the third one is incremental product. So in each sprint, as I said before, we deliver an incremental product to the client. So that is the incremental product, and that is the result we can consider as a third artifact of the Scrum. Now, we have total 5 events we discussed earlier, right? First is sprint itself. So you can see that here we have sprint, but to start a sprint, we should plan the sprint. That what we should do in this sprint and who will do on which, who will do which user story, who will work on which task or user story. That kind of discussion should be done in sprint planning meeting. So you can see in the picture when planning is going on, a product owner will groom the requirement that what we are going to do in this particular just story, and based on that estimation thing should be done. Estimation is something that people of the team, a scrum team, will give approx estimation for the user story that it will take this much of time. Why we are doing this? Just to reduce overburden or work burden from the team in the team. After the planning meeting, we need to work on progress. We need to work on updates of progress. That what is the updates for the progress? What is the progress of the work we have assigned to the team? To discuss that, we have this daily Scrum meeting. This daily Scrum meeting should be done daily in sprint, and it should be in it should be completed in 15 minutes only because it is just an a progress discussion meeting. So what we are asking in this meeting and what are the questions being asked in this meeting? The first is what did you do yesterday? What will you do today? And is there any impediments are there? If any impediments are there, Scrum Master will be there in meeting and he or she will work on the impediment to solve it and just to reduce the impediments and blockers so that team can work smoother. After the each, after the uh, sprint work done, we have sprint and at the end of sprint, we need to review that how the work has been done, if it is matching with the user's requirement or not. For that, we have sprint review meeting. So in sprint review meeting, the Scrum team give the demo with the product owner gives the demo with the help of Scrum team to the client or stakeholders that we have worked on this much of modules and we have created this application like this. You can now give your feedback on this. So by this, stakeholders or the customer will give feedback on the requirement. They can give the change they in the requirement for in further sprint. They can also give more requirements to add in product backlog. So this is how sprint review meeting is happening in this Scrum. After the sprint review meeting, we are also doing sprint retrospective meeting at the end. In retrospective meeting, we ask team members that what they would like to start, stop, and continue. This is the fine-tune meeting we can consider for the development team or what for the Scrum team. Here, we are not involving project manager in this meeting so that without hesitation, developers or Scrum team can give their thoughts on what we should start, what we should stop, what we should continue. And also we can add some more columns like what we should enhance or whom you want to praise. or which process you want to praise. Something like we can add columns in that meeting, so that by doing this meeting, Scrum Master will take the feedback from the team and give create action items for the same and assign to the particular people, so that other team members, I mean, who have been assigned to this feedback item, they will work on this feedback item, so that next sprint for the Scrum team should be smoother and quicker and will be more productive for the Scrum team, for the organization. So this is how sprint ceremony, or we can say sprint events, works. Now, the third one is product backlog refinement meeting. This meeting is not the part of sprint events, but it should be done in each sprint to create backlog for next sprint. So backlog refinement meeting in order to ensure that backlog remains populated with items that are relevant, detailed, and estimated according with their priority, in keeping with the current understanding the product and its objective. Here, the time duration of this meet should be 2 hours. And who will attend this meeting? So product owner, development team, stakeholder, and project manager. Scrum Master will join to facilitate the meet. Here, development team discuss the requirement and estimates the efforts for the same with the different type of estimation techniques. Why we are doing this PBR meeting or grooming meeting? So it can happen that product backlog is created with the priority, but sometimes client may give another requirement with the highest priority. All or also it can happen that client may give or change the priority of the product backlog already created by the product owner. So just to do such kind of refinement, product backlog meeting has been done, and whatever the new requirements have been given by the client with highest priority, product back product owner will give the idea on the same to the team, that what we are going to do in this requirement, and we need to add this requirement into next sprint. So product owner will groom about the requirement, so that team team will have clear idea what they need to do on that whenever the tasks have been assigned to them. So this is why we are doing this product backlog refinement meeting or grooming meeting. Now, that is the end of my session. So if there are any questions you do have, you can add as a comment. Thank you, guys.